Hi, beautiful souls. Wagwan. I am Marcia C, and welcome to another episode of Her Sacred Soul Space. Here we have dynamic conversations, the one that stirs our hearts and indeed expands our soul. I am so grateful for you, and I'm so grateful to be here today. On this episode, I have with me another beautiful soul, Dr. Jamela Franklin. Welcome, Dr. Franklin. So happy to have you with me. How are you?
I'm doing well, beloved. How are you?
Doing awesome. So let me share a little bit more about Dr. Franklin with you. She's an accomplished holistic psychotherapist, certified aromatherapist and teacher. She's also a Reiki Master as well as a Reiki teacher. And she is a certified Metaphysician and Teacher. She's an energy transformation practitioner, holistic life coach, radio talk show host, and a college professor. And I don't want to leave this out, she is an award-winning published author. And the list goes on. Just to let you know just a little bit about her and why she is going to bring such wealth to today's conversation. Dr. Franklin, tell us a little bit more about your practice, your company.
Okay. The name of my company is Oyinde Enterprises. And within Oyinde Enterprises, I have aromatherapy products that are therapeutic, which means they are not like the commercial products that people see in stores. My products are there to relieve stress from the body, to actually heal the body. And then I have Alamaj. Alamaj 1 is dealing with emotional release because a lot of us have trauma. And with Alamaj 1, it helps relieve the trauma from the body, but it's very, very unique because I'm not doing talk. I'm not doing a lot of talk. Now, I've been in the field of psychology and counseling for over 30 years. So I know what works and doesn't work. And I've taught psychology to college students. And I'm telling people when I teach it, I say, I would teach this to you, but I know it's dated. It's not going to really heal. It's going to just basically cover on the top. So my practice, Alamaj 1, gets to the root of the problem using energy, because we're energetic beings. So why would we use something different than what we are to help us heal? That doesn't make sense. And then Alamaj 2 is the second part, which deals strictly with the energy, and I'm clearing your chakras, your auric field, your anything that's connected to you energetically. The ancestors can come in, and your angels come in, and I use aromatherapy, I use color therapy, and it's powerful. I tell people I cannot tell you what's going to happen because it's your individual process, but I can tell you that you never leave me the way that you came in.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I can testify that she's accurate. She's actually my first spiritual teacher, and I'm so grateful that I was led to her and I've had her services done. And you definitely will not leave the same way you came into her space. So my beautiful viewers, I want to share something with you. So a few years ago, actually more than a few, I'm going to say about 14 years ago, I had this encounter. I remember I was going through a difficult time, a difficult part of my journey. And I was at Walmart, have groceries in the cart. And there was this lady in front. She was driving one of those, the little cart buggy type of thing. And her son was with her, an adult. I don't know what's going on my tongue today. An adult son was with her. And I remember when I was in line, my thought was, please, God, please let me be able to afford what's in my basket. Please don't let me be embarrassed. And that's just like what was just in my spirit, in my soul. The lady went and the cashier scanned all of her stuff, and she drove the little buggy and went out, and now it's like my turn to get cashed. And even more so, I started to just pray within my spirit. Fingers were crossed, eyebrows were crossed, toes were crossed, did not want to be embarrassed. And after the cashier rung me up, I realized I did not have enough funds for what I needed. what I needed for me and my daughter at the time, right? And so I, in my head now, started to think, what is it that I'm going to put back? Because everything that I had in the basket, we actually needed to have those. And before I know it, the lady that was driving the buggy walked back into the store, held my hand and put something in it and say, Spirit told me to give you this. When I opened my hand, it was exactly the amount I needed to add to mine so I can get everything that I had in the basket. Now, I share this with you because do you think that was just divine intervention? That was just God favor because I was so praying, I was praying so much? Or is it something that we call a soul contract? Did I sign an agreement with that beautiful soul and didn't know about it or remember about it? Right? Okay, we're going to dive deep into that with Dr. Franklin on this episode. But before we do that, let us center ourselves by doing our 3 breaths, okay? And we're just going to close our eyes and center ourselves by releasing anything that may be preventing us from being present for this conversation, this episode that is here to stir your heart and expand you in a beautiful way. So let's do a deep breath in. And we're going to release everything that is going to prevent us from focusing on this conversation. And the second deep breath, you take that in and knowing that you're deserving of the message that is going to come forth from this episode. And you release that breath. In our third breath, you are centering yourself, opening up for you to receive. Take that deep breath in and step into an attitude of receiving. And hold and release. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so Dr. Franklin, it's all about soul contract for this episode. Tell me, what exactly is a soul contract for those of us who've never heard about it and just want to know more about this soul contract that I just described that occurred with me and the lady in Walmart?
Well, I think what happened between you and the lady was just wonderful. Miracles happen all the time, and the fact that we are talking now is a miracle. Miracles are commonplace, but we have not been taught to look at them like that. But a soul contract is an agreement that we make with people, even our enemies, so-called enemies, before we incarnate. And when we're not in these vessels called bodies, when we're just spirit, we say, okay, what is it, the lesson that I need to learn during this incarnation? And then all of the souls that are going to help you on that journey, all of you gather together on the other side and you agree. Someone agrees to be your nemesis, someone agrees to be your lover, someone agrees to be your sister, whatever. And people tend to think, even the ones who've had trauma through abuse, molestation, whatever, all of that is part of the soul contract for the soul to grow, to learn, because this is not our first time here. We've been here, most of us, numerous times. And so we have to have certain things occur in order for our soul to grow. So we have these contracts. It's not like a piece of paper. It's not like that. It's like an agreement that we make with individuals. Someone would say, I love you enough to be your nemesis, to be your arch enemy. Because by my being your arch enemy, that's going to grow your soul. And I
Yeah.
love you enough to take the fall for that. And I've told people, I said, your worst enemy, in some cases, not all, in some cases, is your best friend out of this body. They love you enough to sacrifice the friendship, the love, whatever, to help your soul grow. So even people that you pass in the supermarket, like the woman, you had a soul
Yeah.
contract. People think, even the people you don't remember, you
Yeah.
have soul contracts with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So in other words, the ultimate purpose of soul contract um is for your soul expansion. In other words, for your soul expansion. Okay. So why is it that we don't remember these soul contracts? Why is it that we just see our the person that get on our nerves the most, whether it's our ex or anything like that, just want to not remembering that that was a part of their journey to help to serve us in this way?
Yeah. Well, Earth is a school and it's very, very dense. It's the most, if one of, if not the most dense planet in all of the galaxies. And it's really dense. So, and we have free will. And if we remembered everything, there would be no reason for us to come. So we have this agreement with spirit that says, I'm going to remember who I am. I'm going to apply the spiritual knowledge to enhance my life, and I'm going to have this wonderful life. No, when you dropped into the womb of your mother,
Yeah.
everything's taken away. And so the thing is, throughout our lives, to continue to search to know that there's more than something that we see with that we experience with our five senses. And the
Mm-hmm.
more traumatic or challenging our situations are, those things are like pruning us like a rose. Those
Right.
experiences are causing us to go deeper into our soul, to
Yeah.
start seeking answers. And then people like me show up. We crossed because we had an agreement. So people like
Yes.
me show up. And sometimes people accept and honor the connection, and sometimes they don't. But I can't show up in your life without your allowing me to. Like, we had an agreement. No one can show up.
Yeah.
So with the
Yeah.
soul contract, it has us go deeper into what that agreement was before we incarnated.
Okay. So so is it safe to say it's different for everyone? For the soul contracts are different for everyone, even the ones that are a part of your contract. They too have a separate total contract for themselves.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Everyone's contract is different, even though there may be some uh, overlapping,
Mm-hmm.
like if you're in a relationship with someone, there may be some overlapping. Both of you may need to experience the same things at some point in order for your soul to grow. But even with your children, their contracts are separate, and they choose their parents so that they can learn their soul lesson. So certain parents, even though they may seem challenging for us, we chose them because of their challenging situation or personality, because it is because of who they are as parents
Yeah.
and as children. Those things are helping us grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I love that because that's one of the things that I have to remember
Mm,
because our emotions play such a role, regardless of whether or not you're spiritual or not. Our emotions play such a role that we,
yeah.
even if we know this, we in that moment we're not going to remember that, oh, he or she's a part of my soul contract and it's all because of my soul expansion why I'm experiencing this at this moment. All of that goes through the window.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit more to us about really and truly, how is it the soul contract the foundation for us transcending over into our purpose and executing our purpose and live the purposeful life that we're called to do here on earth?
Well, one thing, when we ask, it is given. Sometimes we're so engrossed in our pain, we can't see beyond the pain. So the person who is causing the painful situations for us, we can't see beyond what that person is doing, as opposed to saying, this person is teaching me something more about me. Because you're in pain. This person has either hurt you mentally, physically, sexually, emotionally, financially. So it's hard to be altruistic and think about these lofty things I'm talking about because you're in pain. How can I love this person? And how can I see that I ask for this person to be in my life through this soul contract when he or she is doing these horrendous things to me? That woman is crazy, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. So the thing is when we're in, because let me tell you something that happens, Marcia, which is really interesting. We can project uh, all of the dislike and hate onto the person who may be mistreating us
Yeah.
and cut him or her out of our lives, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then someone else is going to pop up and it's going to get closer and closer and closer. And the next person may be in your family. It may be your sibling, it may be your child, it may be your parent. It's going to get very close because the universe is begging you to look not at the person, but at the lesson.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I tell people, I had this client that I no longer have, and it was the hardest thing for her to look at her daughter. Her
Mm.
adult daughter is being her lesson to learn.
Mm-hmm.
She said that's her blind side, and she wanted to stay in the dark. She's no longer my client. I said, this is just interesting. She can't see that the daughter was there to help her stand up and stand in her power because the daughter is not honoring the mother the way the mother should be honored. But
Right.
the daughter
Right.
is a master teacher, but the mother doesn't desire to learn that lesson and deal with it in this lifetime because she thinks to do so would cut her off from the grown daughter, which it wouldn't, but the mother is just not empowered. So one thing that the listeners should know, you don't have to do any of the work with the soul contract. But you would just come back in another lifetime and it would get more intense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the
Yeah.
thing I tell people. You can opt out, like this woman has chosen to opt out. But I told her when she comes back, it's going to be more intense. And you're not going to have any of this knowledge of your opting out unless you have a past life regression.
Mm-hmm.
You won't know how you set the tone for future incarnations.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but we do, you know.
So, that's one of the things I asked myself when you talk about the lessons. Whenever I find that I'm in a sticky situation with an individual and I having those thoughts in my head, which end up being self-sabotage thoughts, I find myself asking, so tell me this, what's the lesson in this? Because there has to be a reason. It have to be
Mhm.
a reason, not only why it hurt so badly or why it hit me where I was like, whoa, it has to be because I don't want to have to repeat this lesson, whether or not it's with Mary, or next time it's going to be with Susie or Tom or Dick or Harry, as they would say, it's going to come back. And if you choose,
Yeah.
like you said, if you choose not to learn it at this time on your journey, you're still going to, I find that you still attract the same vibration,
Yes.
which
Good point.
that same vibration of which you need to rise above, but you can't do so because you haven't learned the lesson. So you're
Exactly.
always going to be like that. And
Exactly.
but your soul is craving and just calling for a different vibration, for a higher frequency, and a part of you want it. So there's the struggle, there's the self-sabotage I'm referring to, the struggle that's within,
Yeah.
because you can't move to the higher grade because you didn't learn the lesson, in other words.
Exactly.
Yeah. So something just came to me. So we know we're talking about individuals and soul contracts. What about animals or pets?
Oh yeah. 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 For me, yeah. I'm a fur mommy. I've had several cats and two dogs. No, three dogs. I inherited one from my late husband and one from my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Because she transitioned. I brought her dog Gracie over here, and then one was a rescue. Again, I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't afford to keep Brandy, so I adopted her. But yeah, I know all of my animals were sent to me. We had this contract, especially my fur baby Makiba and my fur baby Shaka. Well, all of them, but those two, and then my kitty Malika and Benin when I lived in Boston. Those two taught me a lot. And they had human qualities. People said, "Oh my God, they don't act like cats."
Yeah.
They act like I
Yeah.
said, "Yeah, I know." They have they had very distinct human personalities. And I have one now, a fur baby that Prince Buttercup, who adopted me from the
Aw.
outside. He ended up He said, I'm coming in. I said, no, you're not. He said, yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am. He's in, along with his sister, Princess Hoppy. Yeah, they both are in. And I know that I had this agreement because they came in, knew what to do. They didn't destroy anything in the house. It was just like they had
Mhm.
always been in the house.
Wow.
And Makiba sent them. I don't know how old they are, but the beautiful black cats. And yeah, I know
I
I have
know they
contract.
say that I've never had a cat, but I do have a dog, and I know they say the dogs normally choose you. And I remember with Marley, when we got her, it was between her and her sister, and we went there for the sister, but when I saw Marley and I spoke to her from my soul, I said, "Are you coming home with me?" And she just looked up in my eyes, and the owners was like, "Oh my God, look at that. Look what just happened." And I realized she chose me. I'm trying to figure the phrase out that they say. It's kind of like, I don't know, say marked, I guess. I don't know. I can't
Yeah,
remember the
yeah,
phrase,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And so today I was talking to a friend and I was just like, I can never say I was never loved in this lifetime, because if there's one person, I don't want to say person, I know Marley loves me. The way she looks at me, the way she's always, if I'm downstairs, she's not leaving till it's time for me to go upstairs. It's like she's like my little protector, and I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm supposed to be the one to take care of you. But maybe I signed a contract with her where she is supposed to protect me in that way.
Yeah,
She wants to
yeah,
make sure I'm safe, then she feels safe enough to go to sleep.
yeah.
Funny, but yes. Yeah. And funny enough, she was supposed to be my daughter's dog, but she spends most time with me. Maybe because I'm the feeder. I don't
Mm.
know. But yeah. So let's go back to the soul contract a little bit here. Um, we know that, and I'm gonna say, well, I am assuming that they all do not come in a parcel of roses. Oftentimes they come where they stretch us in a way.
Yeah.
Um, so do they have karmic soul contracts? Or
For me, yeah. Well, when you're not in this vessel, you, from each lifetime, when you come out of the vessel, you have a soul review. You look at your life and all the things that you've done, all the people that you've hurt, all the people that may have hurt you, and all of that. And so then you say, okay, I I didn't really treat Marie that well. So I need to pay this debt. And I'm going to have a contract with Marie that I'm going to repay the debt. Now, you may be uh, abused by Marie. You may be her benefactor, but the details are not worked out. It's just that you have this agreement that you're going to pay this karmic debt, and it's like a contract. And so
yeah.
you come in and you work on um, repaying the karmic debt. And you don't have to spend all of your life repaying a karmic debt or be in a soul contract. I just talked to someone, as a matter of fact, last night, and I
Mm-hmm.
told the person that the energy between us has changed. She was a former friend, and nothing bad happened. It was just different, the energy.
Yeah.
And for me, I just wanted to address it with her to let her know that that contract is now over,
Mm.
that we can renegotiate another contract, but that one, because in that contract, I was helping her reunite with her daughter,
Mm-hmm.
helping her heal from her husband's death,
Mm-hmm.
and helping her build up her self confidence and all that. So then she started to shift, even though the work had not been completed. She started to shift, to start um, creating a distance,
Yeah.
and I could feel it. I said, okay, this person's creating a distance and having a need to put distance between us, as opposed to just saying, the original terms of this relationship have changed and we need to look at it. She wasn't there at that point. So she just started uh, not attending some of the events I may have had, or not following up with appointments, not scheduling new appointments. She just started doing some things that were interesting. And so I told her last night, it's okay. This new evolution of what this is no longer the same that we agreed upon with the original soul contract. So, in so many words, I was releasing her from it. I said, because, and I told her, I said, people in your life are a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And you just have to determine what that is. And I said, the Cancerian part of me will stick with people until the end. Yeah, I will collect souls because that's what I do. I care so much. I said, but I'm very clear in this particular situation that the purpose has been served. And I'm okay with
Right.
I'm okay with releasing what was. And I said because I saw how you were, how she was kind of like in flux about it and not sure how to handle it and just doing interesting stuff, not wanting to have long conversations and things because it was awkward for her because she has shifted and I've shifted. Mine was not a personal attachment as much as she thought. Mine was more, I was sent by spirit to help her in certain situations, and that it changed and I was pulling out. But sometimes people would rather tell you it's over before you tell them it's over.
Yeah.
So with her, I
Yeah.
saw her kind of doing that kind of dance, knowing
Yeah.
that I was pulling back because I was responding to her. And I told her I didn't know her that it wasn't a deep, deep friendship. It was
Right.
topical.
Right.
It was topical and was more about helping her soul to grow.
Right.
So she heard that, but I think her ego may have been a little bruised because I think that, and she was saying, "Oh no, I'm fine with that," but I'm clairvoyant, so I can really see and know what's really going on within your psyche. So, but yeah, sometimes things, soul contracts can change.
Yeah.
They can be terminated. They can change. They can be expanded. Yeah, there are people out there who are saying different things about it, but that's my perception that they
Yeah.
can change, they can be expanded, and they can be terminated. Because I've terminated some soul contracts.
So how can individuals heal from a toxic soul contract? So, yeah, what advice would you have for viewers who may be in one of those at this moment and need some tools so that they can heal from it? This is their first time hearing about soul contract or this in depth about it. And they're like, so help me. How can I heal from this? Give me one or two tips that they can do to help to heal from a toxic soul contract.
Well, the first thing is I always ask that they seek out a person like myself to help them. Because if you don't know what it is, how can you then correct it?
Right.
Because you don't know where to begin. And the saying is, the mind that created the problem can't solve it. So I would strongly suggest that they seek out a therapist, um, holistic therapist who's familiar with it. And not a lot of people are. A lot of people do it from a religious perspective, but what I'm talking about is not religious at all. It's metaphysical and spiritual. It has nothing to do with religion. So I would strongly suggest that they seek out someone who can assist them, like myself, on this journey. That's the first thing. The second thing is a person can meditate and learn how to do deep meditations. Because if you really meditate and meditate deeply, a lot of things, a lot of the answers will come forth. And you will find the answers to whatever it is that's troubling you. So seeking a professional and then learning how to meditate and just doing deep breathing like you were doing earlier, just
Yeah.
doing deep breathing. But that's not going to the deep breathing isn't going to reveal what a soul contract is. I think people can read about it, but definitely get in touch with a practitioner to help you work through it, because soul contracts are created to help us deal with our past lives, what we didn't work on in our past lives. So
Right.
very
Yeah.
few people are able to work their way through on their own with that. You need like a sounding board. You need another person, preferably a therapist, to help walk you through it.
Can you share with us very quickly before we close out? How can someone know whether or not their current situation or a current encounter is a part of their soul contract versus just a regular part of life? How can they know that? Is there an indication?
Yeah, well, for me, I think everything is an agreement.
Okay.
Everything. The job you have, the house you live in, you had an agreement that you wanted to experience it. You didn't have all the particulars.
Mm-hmm.
You may not know the name of the person that you're connected with or the name of the job or whatever, but you were looking for a certain kind of experience
Mm-hmm.
to um, to enrich your soul. So then
Yeah.
once you put that out there, that was an intention. And once you put
Mm-hmm.
that out there, then the universe rearranges itself to create the optimal situations for you to help you achieve that goal.
Yeah.
So uh, we like knowing all the answers, but that's
Yeah.
not what this journey is about. This journey is
Yes.
about okay, give us the general things that you desire, and the universe will work out the details. Because if you knew everything, it wouldn't be a journey.
Yeah.
You know, there would be no need to come here. We came here to learn about different experiences.
We wouldn't have stories, you
Yeah,
know? Yeah.
yeah,
Because that's what the journey's about. It helps us to have stories to pass on generation to generation so that they too can learn from. Some of
yeah.
them may choose not to learn and have to go through it on their own in that way. But, you know, I love stories and stories are beautiful. So,
The stories make us who we are. And just think of it, even though we think we want to know everything, if you knew everything every single day about everything, it wouldn't be exciting. That does happen in other dimensions on other planets, but not here. We chose Earth specifically
yeah.
because of the chaos, because of all of the question marks, because we said that we would come here and help it evolve. And then
Yeah.
some of us got here and got stuck in the matrix.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
which is okay. You know, we can awaken and see people like myself, and then get back on track. Because all of us, even I have someone that I consult with,
Yeah.
but trying to do it all on your own,
Yeah.
it's going to be a little daunting. Some people have tried, and I don't know how successful they've been, but most people I know have someone that they talk to, and which is wise.
Yeah, no man is an island, as we would say in Jamaica. No man is an island and no man stands alone. So,
Yeah,
there you have it, my beautiful viewers. It's all about our soul contract. It's all about be more aware of those you encounter on a daily basis, and how they show up, how spirit allow them to show up in your life at
yeah,
a particular time. What's the
yeah,
lesson for you to garner from that?
yeah.
Where is it supposed to take you? How is it expanding your soul in such a beautiful way that you too can see yourself and see your light? As I mentioned, Dr. Jamela is a aromatherapist, and I know as we go through this journey and encounter with individuals and our emotion goes up and down, we oftentimes wish we had something to help us just to be still, just to calm. And Dr. Franklin, I know you brought a tool that will be able to help our viewers as they go on this part of their journey, continue to explore a soul contract and to see how it fits within their life. Can you share that with us?
I have this wonderful product uh, called Peace Be Still. This is the little bag that it comes in.
Mhm.
And I'm a certified aromatherapist. So this is it. And this is holistic. There are no chemicals in it, no additives, food coloring, or anything like that, as you can see. So what you do with aromatherapy is really powerful. So with this, the blend that I make, I have several blends, but with this one, it really will help people deal with stress, anxiety, depression, panic attacks, sinus congestion, sinus headaches, migraine headaches, hyperactivity within children, and insomnia. So you don't take any of my products by mouth. You just put it like this in your hands, palms of your hands,
Mhm.
and then you rub it together and then inhale 10 times. And then you put them on your neck, your armpits, the bottoms of your feet. Voila, everything disappears.
Okay.
Anxiety, all of it. And you don't have to think your way out of it. It's great to use when you're doing your meditations, prayers, visualizations, any of that. And if you're not doing any of it, it's also great. You can put in your bath water, you take baths, and you feel like you're in a spa.
Yeah.
And there are no contraindications. So if you're taking medicines, it will not negatively affect any medicines you're taking. And so, and flies and mosquitoes won't come near you either.
That is indeed good to know. That's a plus right there. A good plus. So, okay, thanks. So, peace be still. That's our desire. That's my desire for you, beautiful souls.
Yeah,
As you dive and go explore more about your soul contract, as you pray more about it so you can be aware of what it entails, so that you just do not see it as just a coincidence.
yes.
It's beyond, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. So,
Thing we have to always remember is that we created it. It wasn't created for us. We created the soul contracts.
yeah,
We decided what we would like to experience with our teachers and guides. And they're like, are you sure? Yeah, 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 yeah. Can you want to do it all in one lifetime? Yeah, 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 yeah. And then we get here and it's like, oh my God. But we created it.
yeah,
So we can modify it, we can adjust it. Like I said, with this particular person, you know, that old contract is null and void. So if we want to pursue another connection, as her being a client and mine being the holistic practitioner or therapist, that has to be discussed and renegotiated. But that other one is null and void. And we have the power. We have the power. We're not at the mercy of anyone.
we are not. We are not, and neither are you. So, think about it. Think about your encounters. Think about your friends, your spouse, parents, daughters, siblings. Why did you choose them to be a part of your life, your journey? What lessons are you supposed to be learning from this?
Right?
See the bigger picture, meditate on it,
Mm-hmm.
step into it, embrace you. You're here to grow, and we want you to grow. I want you to grow. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining us here on Her Sacred Soul Space. Until we meet again, okay? One love, and you walk good, okay?
Namaste.